I'm Brian Moggre. I am a 20-year-old show jumper from Flower Mound, Texas, and I ride for Team Prague Lions. I first started riding when I was really little. I don't even remember it. I was 2, 3 years old. We lived just down the street from a stable. I started getting pony ride lessons, so I have faint memories from then, but I've done it my entire life. It kind of was a natural progression to start competing. The stable that I rode at was a competition stable, so my parents don't come from horses, so we all learned about it together, but as I grew up, I just loved it more and more and started competing and never stopped. As a young rider, I had a few trainers growing up. My very first trainer, Gianna Aycock, based out of Texas, really taught me the basics and got me into the real show scene. And then after that, I rode with Mike McCormick and Tracy Fenney in my junior years. They gave me so many opportunities, lots of horses to ride. I learned a lot from them, and now I ride with Laura Kraut and Nick Skelton as an adult. My best memory with horses, there's definitely a lot, so it's hard just to pick one, but I would say the Global Champions Tour as a whole just creates great memories, as well as competing for Team USA. My favorite thing regarding horses is truly their character. I really enjoy getting to know each horse on a very personal level and understanding that horse, and competing is just the cherry on top. You know, the mix of adrenaline and competitiveness and just the overall sport, I would say it's hard to compare to anything else. Horses probably taught me the most about patience. You know, they can't speak, they can't talk to you, tell you when they don't feel well or if something's hurting, so really understanding the horse and being patient and creating kind of a bond and trust with that horse, I think, is something that I apply to my daily life every day. It's hard to say which horse impressed me the most because they're all so different, especially the horses who have really made an impact on my career, but two very special horses are MTM Viva La Rev, owned by myself and my family, and Baloo du Reviton, owned by Ann Thompson. Three fundamental values that stand out most to me, I would say, is connection with an animal is the most important, patience as a person, and really paying attention to detail is a huge part of this sport, and really not letting anything be overlooked. My definition of a good rider is somebody who really understands the horse and rides off of natural feel. I think that's something that people are blessed and born with, and I really admire those who truly ride just off natural feel and then have, you know, training to refine those things. There's so many riders that I admire. It's really hard to pick one, but I definitely look up to Laura Kraut and Nick Skelton. They trained me. I learned so much from them. To have them take me under their wing and teach me everything they know and tell me about the experiences that they have had, you know, everything that I want to accomplish they have before, so those two are very special to me. I think there's always room for improvement in the business aspect of what I do. I think just to continue to grow my personal business, obtain more horses, compete more often, and sales, training, and things like that. I'm only 20 years old, so we're growing, but no, I would definitely say just the overall business to keep going upwards. In 10 years, I would love to see myself still with the same passion and drive that I have today and true love for the horses, but really I'd love to see growth in the stable, the number of horses that I have, and as well as within myself and the business as a whole. And I think the sport really teaches you a lot as a person and a lot about yourself, so I would like to grow just as much as I would like. Something that I would love to improve throughout my career is, while the business is growing, to, like I said before, pay attention to detail, and as well as competing every week is something that I'm not used to. I have never been in a position to have the amount of horses to show every week. And this year, I'm really learning just overall management of being able to be at top level horse shows every week, have horses ready, the team ready, and I'd say that's definitely something that I can always work on improving. I think the #1 way to see that sport and overall well-being for the horses is compatible is truly based on their care. And I think when you look at these horses, especially that are at the top level, we treat these horses almost better than we treat ourselves. So I think for me, all of that really comes down to what happens in the stable and making sure that there is the appropriate care for them. They are looked after, veterinary work, farrier work, all of that has to really come into place before you step foot into the show ring. How I combine sport and well-being in my daily life is, really making the horses the #1 priority and allotting certain time for that. For me, the horses always come first and I come second. So for myself, knowing that they're well taken care of means that I can then take care of myself. So I think it all goes hand in hand, but the true love for the horses really is what I think gives you the incentive to focus on the well-being of yourself and your horses and creating a positive environment that then is just an additional feature to being competitive.